Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the new rules and errata and points and everything for X-Wing 2.5. This got a major new overhaul of content. We're going to take a look at all of this. If you are new here to the channel, another reminder, we are still giving away that $70 Amazon gift card for a Shadow Collective starter box. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. Simple as that. Also, big thanks to today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens. Be sure to check out luxuryplaystyle.com. Use code Crabbok VIP. You're going to save 15% off of amazing full metal double-sided tokens. They're incredibly beautiful. Orders $35 or more, going to get a free Crabbok token thrown in there. Very cool stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this now. If you haven't already, you can go over to atomicmassgames.com /Xwing documents and check this out. It'll be in that drop down. And of course, depending on when you watch this video, there is a website update coming. So whenever this rolls out, the URLs may change, but I will put a link for at least what it is right now down in the video description so you can check it out down there. You can follow along with me, and we're going to talk about all of this. So the first thing I want to talk about is there are some changes to scenarios. The changes are in blue. So first off, I really like that they're marking the changed stuff, because in the past sometimes changes would happen and it wouldn't be marked, so it was harder to know what had changed, and then all of a sudden you're tasked with rereading rules that you think you may already know, maybe like 90 pages of rules reference guides or something like that, trying to find out what was different. So now it's a lot easier to see what has been changed. I'm not going to go into too much detail for the scenarios. I don't actually play the scenarios, so I don't really know what the changes to the scenarios will really entail, but they are here in blue, so you can definitely check this out. Some extra limitations and things like that. So that is how that works. The banned and restricted list got a little bit updated. Well, the banned list, it did at least. Now, while it's not in blue, your new additions are shaded now. So if you can see, we got Admiral Sloan added, Auto Blasters, Commander Pyre, hull upgrade, R2 Astromech, R5 Sabine Wren. Oh no, Sabine! It's okay, you can still play her in extended. The trajectory simulator is also on there, and the restricted list has no restricted cards. Now, the funny thing is, all of these new changes have an effective date of June 15th, 2022. Now, that is a little bit far. It's almost a month away, about 3 weeks away or so, and that's interesting because that's like, a lot of people are probably going to start using this stuff right away. I think that usually when something has an effective date like that, that's in case there's like any major tournaments. Now, smaller tournaments will probably start using the new rules and stuff right away, unless you had one maybe already scheduled for like this weekend or something like that. But I think starting probably next weekend, if you have any local tournaments, it's a good time as any to start using the new rules and get a good feel for them before, because if you are like practicing for like a Worlds qualifier or something like that, that might take place after June 15th. Why bother practicing with the old rules? You might as well start using the new rules as soon as you can. That's my advice to you. Now, we also got points updates. And there's a lot of these. There's a lot of points updates. I'm not going to go into extreme detail here, but I am going to focus on a couple of things. So first off, these are all sorted by factions. So we're starting with the Imperials. You'll see like Lieutenant Karasabi has been changed to 5. Major Vinder hasn't been changed, but his loadout value has been changed to 21 right here. You can see because it's shaded. Some pilots have had their cost changed. Some pilots have had their loadout value changed. Some pilots have had their upgrade bar changed. I think these are the only changes. I don't think anybody had any keywords changed, although that'll be really interesting if we start seeing keywords changed. If you guys remember, a long time ago, I had an interview with Max Brook when he first spoiled some of the keywords that we were going to see. A really cool thing about this was that the fact that they could modify keywords. So we made a little joke, like if it turns out like we get season 4 of The Mandalorian and we find out that he was a droid all along, well then they could easily just add the droid keyword, like he was a Cylon or something like that, right? So I mean, that is always a possibility. They could always, you know, decide, you know what, Darth Vader is not going to be a Sith anymore. Let's, you know, for whatever reason. I don't think they would do that, but you know. Yeah, but you know they have that. It's good future proofing to have the ability to do it if there's a good reason. Again, I think the best example, the best hypothetical I could come up with is if, you know, if a character in a popular TV show turns out to be something they weren't. Now that's more likely to be if somebody was like maybe a Sith in disguise or something like that. That could, you know, I don't think the droids are, you know, you don't really have humanistic droids that could pass for a human in Star Wars right now, at least in canon. I think. You know, in Legends, you had Guri who could do that and stuff like that. So that's some pretty cool stuff. But yeah, so you have options for that. Darth Vader is 7 and 21, so Darth Vader's seen some changes all over the place. Again, there's a lot of changes. Almost every single ship has had pilots and cost and loadout values changed. So this is you know, a big shift away. I think a lot of things got a little more expensive, but not everything. And so, you know, you may see a little bit less ships, but yeah. So a lot of loadout values, a lot of TIE fighter changes, TIE interceptor changes, a lot of this. So I'm just gonna kind of scroll through this a little bit quicker. Just about everything changed for the decimator, which is interesting. The only thing, like my suggestion here is, you know, AMG, if you're listening, definitely consider going with blue or red shading if something has gone up or down, like blue as if the cost has come down, red as if the cost has come up. Something that you know, I think that's a color scheme that FFG used to do, and I personally found it a lot more helpful. But then again, you know, the points experts and stuff, you could always just pull up the points builder and then see. But a lot of the points builder folks are so quick that before you even see this, you'll go there and it'll already be implemented because they're amazing at what they do. The community for these games is absolutely fantastic. So, all right, we'll scroll down a little bit. A lot of B-Wing changes. Rebels seem to have a little bit less changed. You got like nothing really changed on the attack shuttle, the Ozatuk. Very little change for B or for Y wings. You know, K wings, no changes. E wings, no changes. Gauntlet fighters, no change. Wow. So Fang fighter had a few changes. That's kind of cool. So yeah. So interesting. We're gonna move down a little bit more. Han Solo a little bit. Lando a little bit. Leia a little bit. Ahsoka. Sheathapede, you know, we got a couple. So there's still a lot of overall. There's a lot of changes. I'd say this is like a 45% of all ships have had changes here, maybe 50% of all. Yeah, so very very major amount of points changes. So you know, if you have lists saved, they may not work anymore. Scum and Villainy, a lot of changes. So I want to focus to the new ships because we just got a bunch of new ships. Well, M3A Interceptor, completely. Every single ship changed. Every single one changed for points, cost, and loadout value. Well, upgrades did not change, right? The Mining Guild TIE has seen quite a bit of changes, also with some upgrade options. The Rogue class Starfire, you'll notice, here we go. Now we got the new ships. Now this is cool because we didn't have any points or any info on these before. So this is what I'm going to talk about a little bit more here. We'll talk about the Rogue class. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. So, and we'll do the same thing for the Z95. For the Rogue class, we've got all of them. We've got all 4 of our pilots. They are all 5 points each. So it's going to be kind of hard to run, you know, your generics. It's going to be, you're really not incentivized to run the generics at this time. Now, again, because these can totally change, and we just saw a whole lot of changes, this can always change at some point. I think the incentive right now is for you to, use the named pilots and use their loadouts and find out which one you like best, because each of these named pilots has a significant loadout value compared to the Outer Rim Hunter. So for 5 points each, Cad Bane has 18 points, Victor Hell has 16 points, Nom Lum has 19 points, and the Outer Rim Hunter only has 4 points and a lot less options. Very interesting. Now, Nom Lum does have 2 modification slots, which is pretty cool. You got 2 cannons on all of them, which is a good thing. We've got a missile on most of them. Our Outer Rim Hunter doesn't have a missile. We've got a talent on the names. Now, Cad Bane has the most stuff. He's got a second illicit up here, and just one mod, but Cad Bane can also take the title. So again, you're not gonna be able to run the Xanadu Blood on anybody, which is that's definitely a thing, right? You're not gonna be able to do that. So Cad Bane's the only one who can take the Xanadu Blood. And he can get 18 points. So he's got a lot of points, but he's got a lot of slots. So it's going to be challenging to put a build together with either Cad Bane, Victor Hell, or Nom Lum. A lot less challenging to put an Outer Rim Hunter build together. But again, why are you running a generic? That it's at this time not going to be that competitive to run the generic. I think there's definitely going to be some options for year 3, though. You got so many points between the both of them, especially with a double mod on Nom Lum, and then of course Cad Bane's much larger. Cad Bane's got that significant sized number of upgrades that he can take, but he's also only got 18 points, so you gotta spread those things out. Okay, we're gonna scroll down a little bit more. We're going through the scum. We are going to also look at Republic. And then we'll look at Separatist too. I'm scrolling right through First Order. Again, a lot of changes in here. A lot of changes. And we're at Resistance. Massive Y-Wing changes here. Massive Y-Wing changes, but not to ship cost. It's to loadout. It's almost every single Y-Wing had a loadout change had an upgrade bar change, and almost every single one had a loadout change. Major changes there. Scroll down a little bit more. Some Resistance transport changes. Then we get a couple without Resistance, like the RZ2 A-Wings, almost totally unchanged. You only have Merle Cobbin with a points change there. YT-1300, not changed at all, although Han Solo still is on that banned list. So we didn't really have to change Han. Poor Han. How are you going to do that to Han? I guess Harrison Ford is just going to have to come back for another movie if he wants to kind of redeem himself here. T-70. A lot of changes on the T-70. We've got some more T-70 pilots here. Again, a lot of loadout changes. Some of our other pilots do not have as many cost changes, so a lot less on the cost changes there. Scrolling down some more, we're going to get to the Clone Z95 Headhunter. We're in Republic now. Not an overwhelming number of changes for Republic outside of this, but let's take a look at the Clone Z95. They are all 3 points. All 3 points. This is going to make them. This puts them in a really difficult spot. I think this was intended to be a kind of a swarm fighter type of ship, at least to an extent. And at 3 points, that's still on the cheaper side. But there's a lot of 2-point ships. All right. Well, actually, generally in the game, there's a lot of 2-point ships. Let me scroll down and see how many 2-point ships we have in the Republic now. You've got the hyperspace ring, which is not legal. So, that's, do we have any other 2-point ships for the Republic? Let me catch myself before I wreck myself. No. So, all right, there's a lot of other 2-point ships for other factions, I should say. Earlier I was looking at the Z95 points, for rebels and stuff like that. For other factions have, much wider selection of ships. But here this is still, all right, it's a 3-point ship. I guess it still works this way. But your generics are going to have a hard time, and which means that NAC, you're going to have a hard time running NAC, because NAC's whole thing is, hey, I can give a generic ship a talent. I'm like, well, yeah, but there's no generic ship who's cheaper than him or any of these other named ships, so you're just better off taking a unique ship and giving them the talent in the first place, especially taking somebody else who's the same price as NAC that has a higher loadout value, like Killer or something like that, or Warthog or Boost. These are all, they have cool names too. I like that, like Boost and Drift. Like, hey, Drift is the side slip guy, and Boost is the boost guy. I don't even have to have the cards pulled up. So, pretty cool stuff there. But here's they're all 3 points. They all have the loadouts. Many of them have double talent, which is cool. They have the system slot, and they have the mod slot. You've got double mod on a couple of them. You've got a cannon on Killer, which is really cool. But nobody has a missile or torpedo. Now, don't forget, that the Z95 does have the ship ability that allows you to equip a missile or a torpedo. So if any of them did have a missile or a torpedo, then you would then be able to have 2 of them. So that's how that's gonna look. Anakin got some upgrade options, so pretty cool there. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi with some upgrade option changes as well. Yeah, but like kind of mixed amount of point changes over in here. Not overwhelming amount. A lot of V19 changes. And scrolling down, we should be in Separatists now. So we want to take a look at the Rogue class over here. Little different for the Rogue class Starfighter for the Separatists, because you do have a 4-point Magna Guard Executioner, although it's only 4 I'm like 4 loadout points. I don't know if you're going to take a Magna Guard with that. I really do like the Magna Guard Protectors. You can take 2 of them, 5 points each, 18-point loadout. Not as many upgrade options for these guys, right? Your IGs and your Magna Guards only have 2 cannons and 2 modifications. Your Magna Guard Protector is the one who trades in a modification for a missile, and then Cad Bane has everything again. He's got Talon, he's got 2 cannons, he's got missile, double illicit, mod, and of course he can take the Xanadu Blood title, which is, he's the, again, just like with the Scum version, he's the only one that can take it. So that's cool. And it's cool that you see a little difference here. Like you can run a 4-point version over here, but he's only got to load out of 4. And still not a super cheap ship for them. Again, Separatists have a lot of cheaper ships. So look, you got a bunch of 2s over here. Separatist drone, DFS 81, and Horchal prototypes. You can run some cheap ships with the Separatist. That you can. All right, so that is all of our ship points. The big thing there was that we had all the the new points for the new ships. We've got upgrade points. There's some changes in here, not nearly as many. If you want to look through the upgrade points, you can see that some of these have had their their loadout cost changed. So they're going to cost more or less depending on your your loadout value and what you're upgrading. But it's a lot less. Instead of being 50%, this is like closer to like 20%, or 15% or something like that. So a lot less changes in the upgrade points document. Again, all of these are linked on the same page, which I'm going to put a link in the video description below. Then we have a rules reference update and an errata document. Now the rules reference update has some stuff. So this is another kind of a meteor part of this game. It's not a meteor like a falling rock, but meteor like it's got more meat on it. It's a meteor part. Well, actually, there is funny thing is there's a change with obstacles. So again, like with everything else, you can tell the differences a little bit easier because as you're scrolling down, and this is a document that they really did a good job with, because again, you can see, look at this. While performing a primary attack at range 0, the attacker's dice cannot be modified except by the defender. This is kind of significant because I believe before it was like you couldn't modify it with green tokens, but I think you still could with force, and now they're just saying cannot be modified, right? That's pretty cool. So that's something worth thinking. A little clarification that if you're attacking at range 0, the attack range is always 0. I think that's in case something adjusts the range. Like you can treat, like doesn't the Inquisitor off the top of my head have something to like be able to treat certain attacks as range 1 or something like that? So you like, and it's good future proofing too. If somebody had an ability that could do that, you wouldn't be able to apply that to a range 0 attack, unless of course it's specified that. If something breaks a rule deliberately, and then it'll probably be reflected in the rules reference update as well. So scrolling down a little bit more, we're going to get to, the changes are going to be in blue. So if everything's black, it's likely hasn't changed. Ion has some major changes. This is a big one. So Ion, when you get ionized, a lot of different things are going to happen. First off, target locks. When you get locked, right? You can't maintain locks. When you become ionized, it's going to break all the locks that you had maintained. Now, this is when you maintaining means the ones that you have out. Like if somebody has you target locked, I think you're gonna still be vulnerable. It's the locks that you have on other people. Those are the ones that you're maintaining. So that's new. You can actually plot maneuvers when you're ionized, which is weird, and this is a big change, right? Like because this is you can turn left or right or straight. Now you're only doing a one bank, so you're not going fast, but you can kind of steer through it a little bit. This means Ion is a little bit less punishing. This would have been a real nice change in the early X-Wing 1.0 days when it was very common to face like 4 Y-Wings with Ion turrets that would just constantly ionize you and force you to fly off the board. I had games where people were doing that to me. It was not fun. And so this way you can at least kind of turn a little bit. And it gives a little bit of specifics about it, like, you know, if you plot a maneuver, you know, like if you plot a left or right maneuver, you're going to go left or right, but it's going to be a bank 1. Or if you go straight, it's going to be a straight 1. It's going to be considered a blue maneuver. If you happen to reveal a stop maneuver, it's going to be treated as a 1 straight and things like that. And you know, they can't be changed unless somebody does it, you know, deliberately, unless there's a specific like pilot that mentions that they can change ion maneuvers, which could be a thing. You know, that could be a thing someday. Maybe some kind of droid pilot that's like ion resistant or something like that. You can only do focus actions, you know, and that's basically it. So yeah, I think that's like I think that's it for most of the ion changes. There's a little bit about mission points, and you track them with victory counters. Some of that is stuff that's already there. I'm gonna scroll down a little bit more because there's, I think, 1 or 2 more significant changes to the rules. We're scrolling down some more, and again, this is all of this is a lot of stuff that we've kind of seen already. So let's see here. There is some changes to some errata, and this is more of the stuff we're going to get to errata here in a minute. I like this because there is an errata document. So at the bottom here you have errata. So they have errata in 2 places, but I really, really like the way that they've done this. Now you have an errata document. Now this is good to print out your new cards, so you can have full versions. This is exactly how they're going to look now. Now, we've already seen this document. We've already seen a lot of these ships already. Like, you know, Arvel Krind and Captain Oiken. Like, they're already been changed, you know, because a lot of the Range 0 stuff, like all the Delta 7s have been changed to reflect, you know, the fact that they kind of separated the one card into the upgrade into 2 ship cards and stuff like that. We've seen a lot of this stuff already, but there are some new ones in here. And while they don't want to color these blue, because if they colored these ships blue, then they wouldn't look right if you tried to print them. So if you come over here to the errata, which is again in the rules reference, you're going to see in blue the new changes to errata, but not only how it should read, but below that they put a bracketed thing where they talk about what they've done. So the TIE Strikers ship ability should read the ship ability. Adaptive ailerons. Before you reveal your dial, if you are not stressed, you must boost. I believe the change here is that you're not doing a boost action. It's just doing a boost. So if, for example, if something triggered off of an action, I don't think it would trigger off of this. That's one of those. That's one of those deals. So all the TIE Strikers will have the same thing there. The TIE Reapers have a changed pilot ship and pilot ability. Well, some of them have the ship ability on the TIE Reapers is now controlled ailerons. Before you reveal your die, if you are not stressed, you may boost. So similar change, but it's a you may. And then of course we got different pilot abilities on these. Black Squadron, also TIE Striker, TIE Reaper. So all the TIE Reapers and TIE Striker pilots are going to be changed. They were added here. You also have changes to BB-8 and the BB-8 and the BB-8 Astromech. They changed the timing on both of these, and those cards are all going to be in the update. Contraband Cybernetics is also on there. They stated the charge can't be recovered. It wasn't a recurring charge anyway, so you weren't going to automatically recover it. But if you had an upgrade that would recover somebody's card, which there are cards that'll do that, then you can't do that on Contraband Cybernetics. Then the other one, I think this is the last big one, is Ursa Wren. Now should say you can maintain up to 2 locks. Each lock must be on a friendly object. After a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is locked by an enemy ship, you may perform a target lock action. And that's just updated for clarity, because I guess there were ways to do that for different locks. So I haven't used Ursa Wren yet, so can't elaborate on that too much, but I know that was a big one. And everything else in here in black is stuff that was already in there. So a little thing about pegging. There was also something in here, I may have missed it, about movement if you're on an asteroid. Let me scroll back up. There's another thing in here. If you're on an obstacle, and if you land on an obstacle and you suffer for it, and you're but you're not completely over it. So if I land on an asteroid and my front isn't totally clear of it, I know no matter what, I'm going to hit it again next turn. It basically, if you start your turn on a rock, you don't count as hitting it twice. So that's in here somewhere. I know I saw it in here before. I think I went right through it. It's probably by obstacles. I probably scrolled right past it like a big dummy. Element OPQR? Nope. Well, it's in here somewhere. I'll let you guys find it. I don't want to take you... this has been a long enough video. Ah, here it is. Before a ship moves, if it's overlapping an obstacle, it does not suffer the effects of moving through that obstacle. I like that. I think that's a good quality of life change. I think that's a good change that's going to stop the negative play experiences. I think that was one of my criticisms with 2.5, is that it made obstacles a little bit more negative play experience inducing. And this is a good change to kind of take away some of that frustration, especially for new players too, who could end up flying into a big rock and not fully being on top of it. And so I like that. Yeah, very, very good. All right, so that's going to do it for all of the X-Wing stuff. Again, I'll put a link down in the description below. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it some more. You can jump in Discord. We got lots of links in the video description if you want to check that out. Check out social media, all that other stuff. I will talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are amazing and help make this channel possible, so thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you guys soon. May the Force be with you. Live long and prosper. Always wash your feet, wash your socks, and you call your parents and let them know that you're thinking of them. Be good children to the world. To the world.